Hey howdy, it's me, Medicated Mark, coming to you from the bunker system located underneath the Art Villa, found somewhere in the jungles of Midwest. And a couple stories today, and not a huge stack of records, but a good stack of records. And two stories. One, start out with the Ghoul died a few days ago. For those of you who don't know who the Ghoul is, he was my childhood hero. There's a few ghouls out there, so you're thinking, oh, it's that Ghoul, but maybe it isn't. Maybe it's another Ghoul. This is Ron Swede, I think, right? Always knew him as a Ghoul. I got his T-shirt. I should have wore it. He was out of Cleveland. He took over from Ghoulardi, I think, right? Ghoul, another Ghoul, shortened it to the Ghoul. When he was really young, apparently, he was 70, so he was only 7 years older than me, Medicated Mark. So, this is probably where I got the inspiration for, this stuff anyway. So, the story is, I lived in a small town growing up. Not a super small town, but pretty small. And it turned out to be a test city for cable TV back before anything high-tech, but that was high-tech. Cable was coming in, not very many people had it, so they were testing it. This is what I remember anyway, testing it, and so we had it in the house, right? So I could watch the Ghoul, who was out of Cleveland, because back then you had to be within like 60 miles to get anything. So, with a rabbit ears or an antenna, 60 miles away would be Columbus TV stations, and I would get those, Central Ohio. So this came all the way down from Cleveland. So we got really, and back in the day, it's before everything was homogenous, like you could just, everything is the same now. So each major city had local hosts that would host movies. Like Columbus had the Night Owl. He was like a guy that would play jazz and wore sunglasses that looked like owl sunglasses and spoke in a real quiet voice. Just an interesting person. So in Cleveland they had Big Huck and Houlihan, Big Chuck. And Houlihan, Big Chuck was a big guy and Houlihan was a small guy. And they had this Saturday afternoon, I think. So I'm just going for memories like back in the early 70s. And Akron had the Ghoul. We didn't get that. It was too far away. It wasn't part of the cable network. And then they had the Ghoul, which it was like Friday night, I think, or maybe it was Saturday night. Channel 64, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, it was just like watching a crazy person on another planet. You got to go back in the day, and it was kind of like the Wild Wild West in the 70s, but still, television for the most part was pretty conservative. I think I heard that he was the first person to syndicate his show. So when I was watching it back then, I was still in high school, and he was on after I left, but I wasn't able to see him then after I left the house when I was 18. But when I was watching him, he just did just stuff that just wasn't. Even today, it's probably not possible to be able to do stuff. I don't know. So he had a fright wig and a lab coat on with buttons all over it, and sunglasses with one lens popped out and a fake goatee. And he had his own kind of way of talking about anything. It was always, of course, full of energy. And he would do stuff like blow stuff up with firecrackers on stage. And he had a bit called Chef Ghoulardi. So he would just mix like raw eggs and ketchup and flour. And then he would always, at the end, there'd be the last ingredient would be Cheese Whiz, and he'd dollop the Cheese Whiz into the mix and mix it all up and then shove it in his mouth. And the camera would pan in just before the commercial break, and he'd have his mouth hanging open, and all the Cheese Whiz and ketchup and flour would be pouring out. It was great. It was great fun. He married his wife, Barbara, I think her name was. This dishwater, blonde. She looked a little bit cheap, but she was a nice woman. And then he married her on the show, dressed up. Married her on the show. Smoked cigarettes during the show. I had a little cohort, this plastic toy named Froggy, and there would always be a skit with Froggy. And so one time Froggy disappeared, and the Ghoul couldn't find him, and he started getting ransom notes from whoever kidnapped Froggy and making all these demands. And then the weeks went by, we finally figured out that Froggy kidnapped himself just because he wasn't getting enough attention from the Ghoul. But the Ghoul would do all sorts of things to Froggy, like you would be play with it. You would a dentist, you'd have a drill with a drill bit in it, and he would drill Froggy's mouth. It was great. That bit's actually on YouTube, so you can look them up on YouTube. But I have just really clear memories. At the end of the show, he would say, "Scratch class and do it while you can, but don't get caught." And he would say, "I gotta, the show's over. I'm gonna go hit a few bars on the way home." To his wife, Queenie. That's what he called her, Queenie. Just crazy. One show I can remember, like part of the set falling down, and I heard one of the stagehands in the background yell, "Fuck." But when I came home from college at one time, I thought I'm just going to watch the Ghoul. I turned him on and it was just boring. He was boring. And then I read somewhere like the PTA gone on him and there was a lot of social pressure and he had a water showdown or something like that. Anyway, that was that. So the other story is, anyway, a landmark personality is gone. And only 7 years older than me. It's funny how time is like there's no time. Anyway, so I was at the gym today and so they moved the kids out. They've expanded the whole place. It's really crazy there. But the kids used to come in and they would, because they were getting paid, so they would like use this room that they teach classes in. But now the kids have been moved over to their own section. Don't see them anymore, and this room's open. So I go in there after 12:30, after the fitness class finishes, and I do my yoga in this room where it's generally pretty quiet. People haven't figured out they can go in there yet. So I'm in there, and this woman comes in. I know that she works there, and she comes in, and there's these big, different size balls, but pretty big balls that they do exercises with, including ball yoga on occasions, right then. And she brings a pancake compressor in, and then she's wiping them down with alcohol right there. It's okay. The pancake compressor's running, and I'm trying to meditate, right? So I get done, and she teaches aquatic yoga. That's like bendy stuff you do in a pool, right? And she goes, "Oh, you want to teach class, get your certification and teach class. You can do all the bending things. You did this and did that. That was pretty impressive." And I said, "Oh, thank you. It's nice." It was nice that I could never do that. I mean, I thought about it just because, guys don't want to come into yoga class because there's that stigma. Only women do yoga. I know, but it's there. And plus, men don't like to be outdone, right? They come in and they're. I've talked 2 or 3 of them. They come in and like they can't bend hardly at all. And I understand that, but they look around and see all these women bending in ways that I still can't bend, and they like get defeated mentally. They're defeated right away, and they don't want to be associated with it. So they go away and they go out and they lift their weights and they feel like crap. But I thought about, that would probably take me another year to figure out, and I could do an hour easily now, but to really nail down the names, and there is, certain way that you can help men do things where the women instructors are just doing it for their, and it's okay. You can modify anything, but if you want to get guys in there to do it, you gotta kind of handhold them. I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. We'll see. I don't know. Pipe dream. So on to the records now. We're going to start with probably the coolest thing because it just happens to be small and it's right on top. I haven't opened it yet. But we went to the big antique store and it was pretty picked over when it came to records by the guy that I used to get really good records from. I don't know, he's run out of good records. I got a few records from him, but as I was walking through I found this and I was kind of excited to get it. It is a book called Talking Book. It's a book with a record on the cover. That's right. How exciting is that? Come on, Talking Book. The Musical Toy Parade. I haven't opened it yet, so I don't know how. I think it's probably just a record on the cover, but it's like one of those picture records, so they put a clear thing of plastic over it and pressed a record into it. But we're just going to open it up on the inside, and yeah, it's just going to be a record on the outside, and there's going to be drawings on the inside. It used to belong to Barbara Lee Werty. Yeah, the illustrations are okay. So The spindle goes all the way through the book, and you put it on the turntable and play it. And this is 78. Probably won't feature it, because there's other records that are good, but you never know, just as for a novelty, because that's what it is, a novelty. It's $8, you know, not bad. A fun thing. This is also a fun thing. Tony Montola, another early Montola record, Danger, from the TV show Danger, composed by Tony Montola. Tony Montola plays the guitar with the Ray Charles Singers. It's 33, 10-inch 33, with a terrific cover. Wow. A lot of copy on the back, the type. Ooh. And because it was a colorful cover, it's a budget FDR 10-inch, 8 top hits. Nice. Waldorf music. A few religious records this week. The happy side, it's the Hummel family. None of them are real. They're all porcelain figurines standing there on the cover. Homer, Elaine, Theresa, and Mark. The Hummel family. Out of Los Angeles, California. That's rare. Transportation Day. The Big Bus. These people were far more popular. Slim and Zelda Mae Cox, the Sunshine Gospel Singers. They were far more popular than the Golden Harvest Quartet, who could only afford a former prison van to get around Alabama to make their gigs playing gospel. It's a great cover. I actually like that. I actually like this one. Buses were not uncommon to put on a record cover because it was bragging to have a big bus, or any kind of bus, or a van usually. The girl most likely picked this one up because it's just a beautiful cover. A nice copy. There's another reason, right? I don't know. Anyway, nice copy. Same with this. Budget. The split seam on the bottom. Classical, but the cover looks good. Looked good. This wasn't too much money, and the cover's a little bit rough, but I don't have this record, I don't think. Les Elgar and his orchestra for dancers also. And not a very exciting cover, but it'll be jazzy. It's Harold Betts, or Betters. Funk City Express, it says funk in the cover, so, and the title on the cover, so Sunshine Superman's on this one. My Blue Heaven, Born Free. I assume there'll be some kind of funkiness going on inside. On the disc, Since I Fell in Love for You, Lenny Welch. I don't know. Cadence Records, it's a jazz, kind of a jazz label, right? Some kind of singer I've never heard of. Clean copy, interesting cover. Don't know. Santo and Johnny, Offshore. Santo and Johnny, Beyond the Sea, Red Sails at Sunset, Ebb Tide. The Enchanted Sea, Wandering Sea, Beyond the Reef. Lots of Exotica favorites on that sucker. Stanley Turntine. I was going to say Turnkey, but I stopped myself. Cherry with Milt Jackson. Speedball, I Remember You. The Revs, Sister, Sanctified, Cherry. Yes, Introspective. CTI Jazz. There they are, right there. I could feature something off of this. I bet that will be good. Just because it's a colorful cover, it's Arthur Godfrey's TV calendar show. So you've got the whole year here with something, songs that are kind of loosely associated with the month that they're associated with. Different. Godfrey himself plays a couple of tunes on this. The Mariners, Marion Marlowe, Frank Parker. And also because it's cheap, but ew, I didn't take the sticker off of this one. Off damn sticker. There's 2 stickers on this. And why do they have to pull the stickers off at the counter? I don't understand that. I have to watch over them like a hawk. Just because it was a colorful, fun cover on Rondo. Boring record with a fun cover. Okay. Carmen McRae by special request. Decca looks like 1958 maybe? 57, 58. Sealed. Fought the Blows. Best. Earl Hines and his quartet. Fought the Blows by Earl Hines and his quartet. On Decca. Rita Moss, superb, accompanied by Marty Pyack. Itch. There's no T in there. Oh my God, I don't know who she is, but it's a fun cover. And I'll find out if I like it or not. The Liverpool Songbook, the Londonderry Singers, Rockin' and Romantic, that's the Soundwind, the Londonderry Singers meet the Great English Hits in the Liverpool Songbook. What a mouthful. Goldfinger is on this. And that's about the only one I recognize. Now, a couple more left. Solid State, Brass on Fire. It's another Manny album. Not album, but album. 1966 double truck or gatefold or bookfold. Arranged and conducted by Manny Album. Old Black Magic. My Old Flame. Strike Up the Band. I don't know. I suppose it'll be okay. Another Stanley Turrentine. Demonstration Not for Sale. Evil Ways is on this. That could be a sample. That could be sampled. And last but not least, just because I found it unusual, on the bottom is the Black Crew Generation, Let Me Touch You. That's right. Arrangements Charlie Fox and Dave Hutch. Everything on the back. Solarized. That's what I was trying to think of. This is a solarization of people that are touching each other, man and woman, touching each other just before the flare comes in and that's the end of everything. All right. Well, thanks for stopping by, and that's the end of the video. Go on to the musical sample.
is gloomy. My hours are slumberless. Dearest, the shadows I live with are numberless. The white flowers will never awaken you, not where the black coach of sorrow has taken you. Angels have no thought of ever returning you. Would they be angry if I thought of joining you? Gloomy Sunday. Only dreaming. I wake and I find you asleep in the deep of my heart. Only dreaming. Dearest, I hope that my dream never haunted you. My heart is telling you how much I wanted you.